Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a massive Christmas store. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Watch until the very end of the video to see where we place the Christmas store in our city. This is the amount of space required to make the Christmas store. Here are some of the materials that we will use throughout building the store. Here are some more. And here is the rest of them. Begin by placing 3 stripped spruce logs in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3. Extend forwards by 1, and then right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend in by 1, and then right by 2. 1, 2. We then want to leave a gap of 1, and then place 3 more. 1, 2, 3 stripped spruce. Extend forwards by 1, and then right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extend in by 1, and then right by 2. 1, 2. Then begin extending backwards by placing 2 stripped spruce extending back. 1, 2. We then want to leave a gap of 2, or alternatively destroy 2 rows in the ground and place oak planks there instead, but then continue by placing 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stripped spruce. Dig 2 more rows in the ground extending back and place oak planks there, and then place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 stripped spruce logs. We then want to extend across the back of the build by placing 2 stripped spruce. 1, 2. Extend forwards 1, and then right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend in 1, and then right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend forwards 1, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in 1, right by 2, 1, 2, and then connect all the way back to the very start of the build. Next, work your way all the way back to the front of the build and place rows of 6 green concrete on top of this strip spruce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 2 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To give us something which should look like this. We then want to place on both sides 2 rows of white stained glass pane on top of the strip spruce, with then another row of logs on top, 2 rows of glass pane on top of the spruce. Then we are going to join them together across the top using green concrete, and then we are going to place green concrete here and here, just like this. And on the sides of this area, whilst we are here, place white concrete hanging off of the sides of the green concrete, extend forwards, and then place red concrete extending inwards from the white on top, red concrete in, white on top, red concrete in, and then white on top. So this gives us the frame for the roof. And once we have done this entire thing on this side of the build, we actually want to come all the way over to here and repeat it. So 2 rows of glass at the bottom, 1, 2, a row of logs on top, 2 more rows of glass, 1, 2, green concrete to connect it all together, and then turn this into a triangle, just like so. And what we then want to do from here is, again, the same thing. So white concrete extending off of the green, extend it 1 row forwards, and then you want to extend inwards and upwards using alternating white and red concrete until we have something which should look exactly like this. Next, we are going to make the entrance by destroying this glass block here and placing an oak plank there instead, with a dark oak door on top. Then we are going to place red concrete left and right of the door with white concrete on top, red on top, white concrete in between, and we actually want to match this on the inside of the build as well. So whatever we do on the outside, we just want to repeat on the inside, and we might keep things a little bit interesting by having the spruce log kind of like just sandwiched in between like this, instead of going full candy cane. So I think that we will just leave that like so. And we also have to extend the green concrete of the windows just 1 additional row backwards on the insides, just on the left and right like this. And then that will allow us to place green concrete just left and right of the actual entranceway like this, and just 1 row across the top, just like so. So we will leave this like that for the moment. And coming to the right side of the build, we will begin by placing a row of 3, so 1, 2, 3 green concrete, extending outwards from this window, but extend it all the way along the strip spruce. So then, from here, we want to repeat this 7 times, so this one action, right? We want to go right and up, so extending towards the back, and that is 1 time, and we want to do this 7 times in total, so right up, that's twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's perfect. Then, extend to the right by 2, 1, 2, then we want to extend down and right, and we want to do this 8 times in total, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then finally 8, to which we will then just connect all the way down, just like this, and you will notice that the back of the build is ever so slightly shorter than the front of the build. Don't worry, that is how things are supposed to be. Okay. Next, we are going to fill this side of the store in using green concrete. The only thing that we have to make sure that we do is leave enough room for the entrances / exits. So a 2x2 square just on top of the oak plank areas will do. In the very middle of this wall, we want to place a row of 3 bricks that extends all the way from the ground and all the way up and up and up past the top of the roof line, and we probably want to be 3 rows higher than the actual green concrete itself. Extend the bricks 1 row inwards as well so that it sits on top of the green concrete. Extend the middle blocks upwards and place upside down brick stairs in front of and behind those 2 middle rows, so the end result will look like this. We are also going to make a bit of the roof by first of all placing a row of red concrete sat directly on top of the front half of the green concrete rows. Then we are going to place red concrete in front of / on top of all of those red concretes that we've just placed like this. So the roof should stick out a little bit. I think that you guys can see what we've done here. And then we are going to add white concrete onto the sides of the red concrete like this. And that should give you a good grasp of how the roof should look. And we want to do the exact same thing, extending all the way down the back, just like so. And it might also be a good idea to add just another row of white concrete just along the inside so that we can easily follow the shape of this just like so. So where do we place this? Here and here, and also here, here, and here. There we go. So it can be a little bit tricky just to get everything put together, but I think once you've got those first initial few rows in, then it gets really, really simple. Coming onto the opposite side of the store now, we are going to once again place a row of 1, 2, 3 green concrete extending outwards from the side of this window. Extend an additional row so that we sit on top of the stripped logs. Then we are going to extend this green concrete, just as we did on that opposite side, backwards and upwards 7 times in total. So back and up, that's once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like that. You can see it lines up with the opposite side. Extend left by 2, 1, 2, and then we want to go down and left 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Join down just like this, and on this side of the build there is nothing interesting, so we are just going to completely fill it in with green concrete. Next, we are also going to add a chimney to this side of the build as well. So the 3 middle rows, place bricks along the side just like so. Extend upwards an additional 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. Then extend in. Extend these 2 middle blocks up. Upside down bricks, brick stairs in front and behind those extended bricks. And there we go, a secondary chimney. Then we are going to mark out the roof again by placing red concrete just on top of this row of green, and then in front of / on top of all of our red concretes we want to place another row of red, white concrete on the side, and once we've done that to the front we will do the exact same thing on the back also. And now is a wonderful time, some might say the most wonderful time, to remove all of the grass inside the build and replace it with oak planks. Coming to the back of the build now, we are going to place a row of 2 green concrete extending up from this block, 1, 2, this block, 1, 2, this block, 1, 2, and this block, 1, 2, with white stained glass pane in between, and then stripped spruce logs on top, and then we want to place stripped spruce logs here, and also here of course, and here. So just something that will look like this. And then we want to place green concrete just in between these windows as high as the stripped logs, just to form the walls. That's perfect. And then we also just have to make the outer part of these roofs, so we can extend this white concrete outwards, and then a red concrete to the right of it, white on top, red inwards, white, red, white, just like this, and then all the way back down again, right, down, right, extend back, and then extending to the right, we want to alternate red, white, extend forwards, red to the right, white. So just joining everything together using the alternating red and white concrete blocks just like this, really simple. And that's kind of a blueprint for how the roof is going to work as well. So we are just going to extend all of these white and red concretes backwards just around the window, and then we can take the back half of the roof and we can apply red concrete to the white concrete, and we're going to do the back half first, and then we will focus on the front half second because it's a little bit more complicated on the front. But we are literally just going to do this. We are just going to keep repeatedly placing our rows of red and white concrete, extending all the way across until we eventually just hit the opposite side. And we are just going to connect the little mini roofs back to the large roof, just like this, and that's perfect. So moving to the front of the build now, first of all, we are just going to connect the left side and the right side together by placing our alternating red and white concretes, just extending all the way over, just like this, kind of just cutting the entire area in half. Then we are going to start working on this side just to fill in this gap, so white concrete just along like this. And then I think that we'll actually do pretty much the exact same thing that we did on the back to start with. I think that it might actually be easier than I first thought if we just connect the two sides together, our red and white concrete area. So eventually we'll end up with this, which does look a little bit weird, but this does help us to then extend and connect down this central part of the roof. So, of course, not only do we want it on the outside parts, but the roof wants to continue down just above the main entrance. just like so. We also have to connect the 2 little mini roofs to the main roof as well. You can use a mixture of blocks, by the way. You don't have to just use white concrete, but white concrete kind of just really works. I mean, it kind of even just looks like snow, if nothing else as well, so I really like it, but do feel free to kind of like alternate the blocks and check them if you do like. The only thing is, you may want to come inside of the build and just alter around these window sections. So if we just remove the roof around where these windows are, just kind of like around here, and then we can kind of just devise a way to make this look cleaner, because eventually we will be coming inside and decorating. So we may just want to say place green concrete extending inwards and kind of like filling in this gap instead, and adding some like red concrete. It just looks a little bit cleaner than just go... I mean, alternatively, we can just go like straight across the top like this. That actually looks good. Never mind, scratch that. There we go. So if we just kind of like conform to the shape of this, does that have to be white concrete? It doesn't, so we can remove some of these and turn them green instead, just like this. And then we can just place, so what would we have? We would have white concrete here, and then just down like this. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we can just have red, and then white again. There we go, that's absolutely perfect. And that just cleans that area up a lot. And on the back of the builds, we don't actually have to do anything. That's absolutely perfect. So there we go. That's the inside fixed. Back outside now. Next, come to the right side of the build and dig a row of 3 extending right from this stripped log. 1, 2, 3, and place bricks in there. Right of this, we want to place a red concrete, and on top of it a white concrete, red, extend to the right by 1 using a white, red on top, white to the right, red to the right, white extending down, red to the right, white down, and then red down, just like this. Then we want to dig in the ground right of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to the edge of the grid, place bricks in here, then dig backwards by 15 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and extend back. Alternatively, we can connect to the back corner of the Christmas store. Then we actually have to remove all of this. So all of the grass inside this area, it's got to go. And first of all, we are going to place pods on, extending from the area between these oak plank blocks and these. A gap of 2 from our bricks, and then what we are able to do is fill all of this empty space in using smooth stone. And then we are going to place 2 rows of iron bars on top of our bricks all the way around. And we'll actually leave this area like this for now. But what we can do is extend this smooth stone path all the way to the very edge of our grid like this, and then remove 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, extending all the way over to the left. So we're going to remove all of this. Then we are also going to remove this area, just left and right of the entrance, and place andesite all inside of this, and extend the andesite all the way forward. And now that this area has been filled in with andesite, we are going to fill all of the other area that we have just removed with smooth stone. So this is going to blend into the sidewalk / pavement, and this is also going to lead us into the outdoor area of our Christmas store. Everywhere that we still have grass inside of the grid, on the front, the sides, the back, remove it, replace it with white concrete powder. Next, let's do some decorating, starting with the 2 windows on the front. First of all, we simply want to place some string in front of and below this window section, just from this green concrete to this green concrete, and then place corresponding carpets on top of the string that match the concretes behind. And of course, we want to do this on both sides of the build. Just like that. Then we are going to place lanterns hanging from the windows also on the left and right sides. Next, we are going to place flowering azalea leaves in front of both of the window sections as well, with spruce trapdoors flipped up next to the leaves, and we'll even extend the trapdoors backwards to the actual store as well. Then we are going to add some icicles to the build by placing, so this is kind of tricky, but end rods kind of just straight up look like icicles, and I like to place them like this, and we should probably alternate, but you can place 1 or 2, possibly 3 might be pushing it, kind of like this, and I think that that looks pretty good, and it just looks like frozen icicles hanging down from the roof. And you can also add some lanterns as well to the upper set of windows too, although that's not necessary. We also want to place a wreath above the door. This is made by placing 2 rows of spruce leaves extending from the front of the top of the door like this, and then extend the left and right side up by 2, join together in the middle, place some candles in the center. You might have to place a solid block just to place the candles, remove the block, place the leaf again just like this, and then if you want this to look a little bit more Christmassy, I seem to think that adding some red shulker boxes inside the item frames looks good as well, but also the sweet berries do achieve the same effect, so it's up to you which one you prefer. I actually don't know, I think that they're interchangeable, it's more of a personal preference. We also want to make some candy canes on the street, so these are placed here on this left side, and this is a diorite wall, red nether brick wall, diorite wall, red nether brick wall, just like this. And we want the same thing on the opposite side as well, so here. That is absolutely perfect. And on both sides also, we want to make a snowman. This is really simple, so 2 white concrete anywhere around here, on top of each other, jack-o'-lantern on top, polished blackstone buttons in front of the white concrete, and spruce fence left and right of the upper white concrete, and there we have a snowman. It's so simple. We are going to place one all the way over here as well, and I will actually show you how to make a few different statues. So you can use this over and over again because, well, this is my favourite, but you could also swap it out for some of the others, which you'll see soon. But we are then going to place spruce leaves to kind of just cut off the side of the store just like this to create a hedge. And there we go, that is the left side pretty much complete, so coming all the way over here. Next, we are going to make a sleigh somewhere around here. Let's go with here. We will place a spruce stair, and in front of that a campfire. Extinguish that, and then in front of that, an open spruce fence gate. And then spruce trapdoors flipped up left and right of the stair, but spruce signs on the side of the campfire, just like this. And later on, when it won't make so much noise, we will attach a llama here as well to kind of look like a reindeer. Of course, a horse would also work, or you could do something funny like put a wolf there instead, but I'll let you guys decide that. Also, in front of our snowman, we are going to make a little frozen pond to give the appearance that our snowman is fishing. So we'll dig out a circle, place some compressed ice in here, add a fishing rod, so this is just an oak fence with a couple of iron bars on top, and then a chest just like this. And then if you did want to kind of go one step further, you could literally add like an item frame and say add like a card or something like that, just to kind of like complete the illusion, but it's kind of just a fun thing to have. We are also going to stick some colourful shulker boxes just stacked up in this corner as well, next to the sleigh. And beyond that, we also want to add some glow item frames in front of our hedge and add some colourful lights in the form of our shulker boxes. We want to do this on both sides, just like this. So you can have them even on both sides, kind of like that, or you can alternate them. It's not really a big deal, it's once again kind of a personal choice. And we're going to come to the back of the build and also add some flowering azalea leaves to these back windows, with the spruce trapdoors on the side of the leaves extending back to the Christmas store. And glow item frames in front of all of the leaves, and then we will stick all of our shulker boxes. So you could use something other than a shulker box as well, like you can just use like glass pane or something too, but I just really like how that looks. It's so nice and vibrant. And something that I just realised, we have to add some icicles on the back as well. I actually didn't think about that until now. I don't think I actually did this on the original either, so it's kind of cool. Just like hanging off the back, because the back of the build is a little bit lacking in terms of detail. Some icicles kind of just all over the back, I think, will just improve things a bit. Next, we are going to make the rest of the outside part of the build, which is kind of still like inside the build, but outside. Anyway, begin by placing a 2x2x2 square of red concrete all the way over here in this back corner, with a light blue concrete to the right. Then throw down a loom, open it up, place a red banner in there with some lime dye, and apply the cross pattern. Also, whilst we're here, put light blue banner in there with yellow dye and apply the hail pattern. So we will then place the red banner all the way around the outside of the red concrete blocks and the light blue banner around the light blue box. So these are basically just giant presents. Next, we want to leave a gap of 1 to the right of these presents and place 3, 1, 2, 3 black concrete extending up from the ground. A white banner here, black banners just to the right and left, then an open acacia fence gate in front of the bottom, acacia slab extending forwards from the upper black concrete block, stone buttons left and right, and there we have a penguin. Then leave a gap of 2 right of our penguin and place 3, 1, 2, 3, white concrete on top of each other. 2 stone buttons in front of these bottom 2 blocks, a lever left and right of the centre block. You can have them. I kind of like one of them being up. It looks like the snowman's going to wave. A lightning rod in front of this top block here, and then polished black stone buttons left and right. And there we have a really cute snowman. You can also give him a hat, but I'm going to be honest with you, I actually prefer it without the hat, but you know, just because I made it that way. There's the hat as well, but I actually think it's really cute without it. I'll let you decide which one you want to do. And then finally, leaving a gap of 2 right of the snowman, we want to place an upside down spruce stair like this, a spruce plank on top, an upside down stair behind like this, then a stair on top, then in front of this, a spruce plank, slab on top, and then a stair in front of the plank, and an upside down stair underneath the regular stair. Then we are going to place a plank, actually, my bad, yes, a plank in front of our slab that we had here. I just had to replace that. And then in front of that, a spruce stair, just like this. Then we are going to place oak fence left and right of the plank, extend up, and then oak fence gates extending outwards from those fence. And then if you want to take it one step further, I think it's kind of fun just to add an item frame with a red shulker box in there. Another block that you can use is like block of redstone, because it's kind of got like a shine to it. And there we have a reindeer and, if you like, Rudolph. We also want to make some Christmas trees. So to do this, we are going to leave a gap of 2 right of this center brick here. So 1, 2, and then place a spruce wood. Leave a gap of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place a spruce wood. On top of these, we want to place 2 spruce leaves, which we then want to extend out in every direction. And also just up, like this. And there we go, really simple. We can then use a mixture of large ferns and just regular ferns to make it look as though we have different trees, kind of like growing in different various stages, just like this. And that's absolutely perfect. And we do also have to make room to place a scaffolding with a light grey shulker box on top, item frame in front of it, and a cobweb to look like a bagging device for the trees. So I want this either side of the chimney really, and I think it's just a cool little addition to this outside area. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you want to kind of like litter this pathway with different things, like if you want to add some like lanterns and stuff around and some more presents, feel free, but at this point in time, I think that we're done out here. Now, before we move inside, we do actually have 2 more things to do. The first of which is to make a post box. So this is 2 red shulker boxes on top of each other, somewhere around this position. Then a polished black stone pressure plate on top. Then throw down a loom, open it up, place a red banner in there with some black dye and apply the chief pattern. Throw white dye in there. Base, yellow dye, bordeaux, grab that, apply that to the post box, and then you can either leave it like that, or I like the idea of adding an oak trapdoor onto the bottom. You could also add a sign as well, but I think that looks pretty good. And the last thing, like these candles that are in the wreath, and that's it. And with the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and work on the interior. So first of all, on the front left side of the build, we are going to place 4 stripped spruce logs on the ground. Leave a gap of 1, place a brick, campfire for a bit of light, and a brick. Leave a gap and then place 1, 2, 3, 4 stripped spruce logs, and there we go, perfect. So on top of the 2 right stripped spruce logs, we want to place 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of barrels, and we want to do this on both sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we also want to place some spruce trapdoors, not only along the sides of the barrels and the stripped spruce at the bottom, just like this, but also up the opposite side as well. So hence why I've placed the bricks, just to give us something to place onto, and then we can do that across the top. And then we just want to place another row of shelving just pretty much in the middle like this. And we want to do this on both sides, so all the way up both sides of the build. The side with the barrels is significantly easier, and then especially in this corner, I'm just hoping that we place these all correctly. So let's take a look. So, okay, just one more. Perfect, nice. And then across the top, remove the bricks, add a shelf midway up, and there we go. That is absolutely perfect. We also want to place an additional brick on top of each one of these bricks, upside down brick stairs in the middle, dig in front of this, place smooth stone, iron bars in front, really simple fireplace. Oh, we also want to add some tripwire hooks to the barrels. So the barrels are just meant to look like shelving, like those things that have like the hooks and you can take off decorations and what have you. It'll make more sense as we continue, but we want to place a couple of those. They don't have to be in those positions specifically, but somewhere around. Next, we are going to add some candles to the top of the fireplace and maybe even a flower pot and an item frame. You guys will see why in a second. We also want to place a spruce leaf here, 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 and here. And we're going to place some item frames in front of these and some sweet berries just like this. And we are going to place either a carrot or a biscuit inside of the item frame. So if you wanted to do both, then you could of course remove the candles as well, but I like the idea that this is like a mug of milk and perhaps this is like a biscuit or carrots for the reindeer. It's up to you which one you want to do. Whilst we have the flower pots out, I'm actually going to place a bunch of them on this shelving unit right now, and I'm also going to place a lantern here as well. And we can maybe even do some candles, so no, we'll leave it like this actually. And we have to throw down a crafting table, open it up, leather boots in there with some red dye, and we also need our item frame, and we are going to place some stockings across the fireplace like this, so you could have them on both ends like so, or you could have them all across like that. I think that on each end looks really good actually, so we'll leave that like that. And whilst we have the item frames out, we are going to absolutely litter these barrels with item frames. So these are going to be all sorts of different things, ranging from sweet berries, snowballs, candles, lanterns, leather boots, amethyst clusters, anything that would kind of like look like some sort of Christmas decoration can go inside of these item frames. And like if you don't want to have a bunch of flower pots on here, then you can also of course like stack candles and stuff, but the idea is that these are a bunch of Christmas decorations, and the point of the flower pots is to have like mini Christmas trees and stuff in them as well. So any sort of sapling will work, but spruce saplings I think look most Christmas tree-y. On this opposite side, I like the idea of having just a bunch of different stained glasses in all of the item frames. I think that just looks good. Maybe they look like baubles, maybe they look like lights, but they definitely do something. And we're also just going to chuck like a crafting table on here, a cartography table, glass, item frame in front of it with a snowball. Kind of that's my best attempt at a snow globe. There's not really a good way to make one, so that's kind of like what we've got to settle with. The tables just look like some sort of toys. You could just like double up on the crafting tables if you like as well. And I mean, this is almost it really. A couple of rows of green concrete powder in front of these shelving units just to look like a bit of carpet. It just kind of helps to break up the area as well. And I mean, there we go, that's that side of the room pretty much complete. So on the opposite side of the room, we are going to begin all the way over here and make a display of different plushies. So we will begin by placing a red concrete here, white concrete red, and then extend all of those both forwards and up as well. Change this block here to a white concrete, and then just throw a different head of all sorts of different varieties on this stand. It's something that you could do over there or in any sort of like little area that you have free as well. So like over here, for instance, like you can just throw some of these just kind of like littered about if you do feel as though the store needs it. It's something that I've definitely thought about. But now that we've done that, we are going to make a display here as well. So we want to place a 3x3 square in the middle of this wall using bookshelves, and then add a frame around it by placing alternating red and white concretes. Then we are going to place item frames in front of all of these and just a bunch of different shulker boxes to give it the appearance of, again, kind of, it's sort of ambiguous, like baubles or lights or something similar. I just happen to think that it's like a cool display. You could even, I did consider that we could like use a bunch of different torches as well, like around the store. I mean, I know it doesn't make sense to have like a bunch of like blue and red torches just kind of everywhere, but it just kind of like feels sort of Christmassy, but you know, feel free to change things as you see fit. My idea for in this corner is simply to have a penguin like we made outside, so 3 black concrete on top of each other, white banner here, black banner left and right, acacia fence gate open at the bottom, acacia slab here, and then either a black stone button left and right for the eyes or a stone button will work nicely. Alternatively, more plushies or any sort of repetition of what we've made. And just to finish off this little display stand, a couple of rows of green concrete powder, just like this. I think just adds a little something. You could even do a similar thing over here as well, but probably wouldn't make sense in front of the penguin. So we're going to do the exact same thing for each one of the 4 windows. We'll place grass in between the bottom area with spruce trapdoors in front of that, sweet berries on top of the grass, and then we want to grow them just enough that we actually see the berries, and then glow item frames in front of the stripped spruce, and then we can just outfit them with different lights, aka just the shulker boxes, and we're going to do the same everywhere. I'm going to alternate the colours of the lights as well, and when it comes to the back, we have ever so slightly less room, but there we go, still looks really good. On the front, we actually have the opportunity to add like end rods, aka icicles, to the windows as well, whereas we don't really get to do that on the back, not without knocking out the item frames, I believe. Like, we could add them like here, and maybe like here, kind of like in front of the actual item frames, but I don't know if I quite like that. But what I think I might like is adding the lights everywhere. Like, we might have to remove some of them around this area, but I think that the more sort of like different coloured torches, you could even go for regular torches as well, mix those in. I think that so we'll remove those. I don't know, it just kind of feels a little bit more festive, but you feel free to add or subtract things that I've done. But yeah, there we go, that's the windows done. Next to the actual main entrance, we are going to stack a bunch of shulker boxes, aka presents, just like this, just about the place. There we go. With amethyst clusters on top of them to look like bows. You also have, that's such a pleasant sound, you also have dead coral fans that also look like ribbon. It's a little bit boring in comparison, but you know, it's just kind of like a nice decoration to have about the place. It adds a lot of colour into, I guess, an already somewhat colourful area. Next, we are going to make the till area. So unfortunately, we do have to remove these torches. I got a bit overzealous there, but we want to begin by placing 2 rows of bookshelves, one on the left here and one on the right, with stripped spruce log in between them at the bottom. We're then going to make another reef just in the middle of this area with item frames and sweet berries inside. I actually want some candles in the middle as well. I always forget that the candles, for some reason, whilst can be suspended upon their own weight in the middle of the air, can't be placed onto leaves, but, you know, sure, okay. And we are going to place an item frame here with a biscuit in it and a flower pot just to the right. Then we are going to leave a gap of 1 in front of all of this and place a bunch of stripped spruce logs with a lantern on each end, flower pots extending in, spruce saplings in there with some white carpet. And I'm thinking either like white carpet in front of here to kind of like emulate snow, or kind of going for the good old green concrete powder. You can actually have a little mix of it. It's kind of cool. I like the idea of some fake snow in here. Might even just add a little bit anyway, just kind of like about the place. I think it's just kind of like a fun feature. You don't need real snow. I mean, feel free to add real snow. It'll probably melt, right? But yeah, I kind of like that. But you might not. Feel free to add it or don't. So the final bit of detail to add inside of the store is a rather large tree right in the middle of it. And the way that we can find where to place this is quite simply follow the entrance along from the door, line up with where that campfire is over there, and that's the middle of the store. So start off with a spruce wood, place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves on top, extend out the bottom 3 leaves on every single side like this, just like that, and then extend out the bottom leaf on every single side. We then want to place spruce leaves here, 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 and here, here, and here, and, well, there we go, actually. That will do nicely. And on top of the tree, we have a choice of, I believe that you can place amethyst clusters. No? Okay, you can't place an amethyst cluster, so yellow sugar box looks like a star, or at least close enough to it, unless you want to place something else. And then we are simply just going to dig around the base of the tree, and we want to dig 2 entire rows and place green concrete powder inside of these 2 empty rows. Then we are going to dig all the way around, and we will also place a couple of presents just underneath the actual like base of the tree, leaving the front exposed, or maybe just like place them like this. We want to place a rail all the way around the second row of green concrete powder like so. And then the original plan, which I think I still like, is to place alternating red and white concretes just inside all of this empty space to, well, just kind of feel Christmassy, really. And finally, just stick a minecart just on the rail somewhere, so we have a rather impressive tree in the middle of the store. You could make it bigger if you wanted to, by the way. There's no decorations on it because we would have to add some either item frames to the tree or knock out some of these leaves, and I just kind of like it as is. And we have some presents around the base, we have a train track around that, and then of course we have this little barrier here, but yeah. Is it too much to add a wreath onto this side of the build as well? Is this too much? I don't know, I kind of like it. I just want it to be more Christmassy in here. So, one last thing, I did say that we were going to add a reindeer to our sleigh. So, first of all, to prevent the reindeer from getting any funny ideas, we are going to surround this area with barriers, just like this. So I find it's always better to be safe than sorry with these barriers, so I'm just going to place them like this, much higher than you would ever really need to place them. And then we are going to throw an anvil down, name tag in there, and we are going to name our reindeer. Rudolph seems a bit silly, so I'm going to be honest, I don't know the names of all the reindeers, but I do know Prancer. Prancer, Blitzen, Comet. I might be out. But we'll place the llama in there with Prancer, and that's perfect. I mean, not really the colour of a do reindeers come in white? I don't know, but the point is that we have our reindeer attached to our sleigh. And that is the tutorial officially complete, ladies and gentlemen. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Christmas store into our city. You know what, guys? I really don't have that many places that a rather large seasonal themed store could go in Mini City right now, but I'll tell you who does need some Christmas cheer. Is prisoners. So opposite the prison is where the Christmas store is going to go. Whether it will stay here, I don't know, but for now, And there we go, that is the end of this video. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for more things to add to your city, whether they are city build related or perhaps a bit more fun, a bit more cartoony, check out the description below for the mini city builds playlist and the cartoon builds playlist. Once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.